Hey everyone, it's John from RELICS, and today we're going to be talking about why now is a really good time for you to stop being an online reseller and maybe go get a 9-to-5 job. I'm seeing a lot of videos out there about people who are just kind of, they're tired of being online resellers and they're not making as much money as they were. Some people are even complaining that their YouTube channels aren't doing as good as they once did, and now they're finding it difficult to pay their bills, pay their rent, and stuff like that. And all of those are really valid reasons as to why being a full-time reseller might not be working out for you. It's something that you've really got to be passionate for. I don't know how many people I've shown how to sell on eBay over the years. In fact, when I was younger, I loved to show people how to sell stuff on eBay, but now I don't even waste my time because I find that probably out of 100 people that I've shown how to sell on eBay, probably 2 or 3 of them actually took to it, and one of them took to it like a duck out of water, or duck in water, and actually is probably one of my biggest competition. That's my fault, and that doesn't have anything to do with this video. But some things that you have to think about when you are a full-time reseller is that your income is not going to be stable. And when you're working a 9-to-5 job, you have that paycheck that's coming in all the time. And once you go full-time, that actually stops. You no longer have a really good source of income, and you are only going to be depending on the items that you find, and that's getting tougher and tougher. If you look at these thrift stores out there, they're actually the prices are going up. They're getting smarter about sourcing stuff. The artificial intelligence is making it easier for these people to price stuff. And to be honest, the artificial intelligence doesn't give them a real market value. When you scan that, it's typically not the best price or the actual price of the item that's sold with the AI. It's probably almost the highest. It's whoever is selling to Google to get that highest spot, like on eBay when you pay for your views in the search algorithm. If you're paying 6, 7, 8%, so it's not even a really good price. It's just absolutely insane. And there are no benefits being a full-time reseller. Like, you can go get a job out there and get 2 to 3 weeks vacation. When I worked for the state of Missouri, I had 3 weeks vacation. Actually, I had 4 weeks vacation because I'd been there more than 5 years, and that paid time off, including sick time, and just if I had medical emergencies, I could take the medical emergency leave, and that was all covered. And it was so much easier to have a good work-life balance. That's the thing that's really difficult as a full-time reseller and a person that runs their own business. I'm working 40 hours a week plus out there trying to source merchandise, trying to make deals, trying to be able to find stuff, and it's really difficult. There's really not that balance. I have a lot of time with my family, but sometimes it's not the good hours, because it's the hours that I'm spending the hours that I could be spending with them, I'm spending out at auctions, like on weekends, like on Saturdays. I don't get to take my kids to the zoo. I've got to go to the auction and buy stuff so that I can flip it on eBay. And there is a reduced risk of owning or working for someone else. As a business owner, all the risk, it falls on me. Like market saturation, changing algorithms, shipping issues. And if you have a regular job, none of these problems are your problem at the end of the day. They're the person who owns the company, if you deal with any of that stuff. And any risks that are going to be involved with being an online reseller, or if you do work for somebody else, you're not going to have to deal with any of those, but you're most likely, not being the business owner, you're not going to have to take on those risks. And the skill development that it takes to be an online reseller is pretty darn high. No one's going to walk into this on day one and know everything. I've been doing this my whole life. I've literally been a full-time reseller since 2017, but I have been selling stuff since I was 6 years old. I am 45, so for nearly 40 years I have been selling stuff. I was raised dirt poor. I used to dig stuff out of the trash can, bring it to the house, and we would have yard sales, and I would sell this stuff to people that would just show up, and I would make money. And that's taken a lifetime to develop the knowledge that I have to be able to go out and to find stuff. Like, here's my little Groot. Oh, give him a hug. My little Groot guy here. A lot of people would walk past that if they weren't a Guardians of the Galaxy fan, and I would think that, you know, it's worth about 15 bucks on eBay. I paid a quarter for it. It's just stuff, you know, that's not a great example, but there are a lot of examples out there of stuff that, here's a really good example. I bought these at an auction, but I knew they were worth a bunch of money, and they're made by a company out of Russia, St. Petersburg, and they're worth about 200 bucks a piece. They're $600 sitting right there, and nobody else at the auction knew that. Sorry, I got a fly he just really likes me. Since they opened the steakhouse next door, we've really had a problem with flies. One of the biggest things that I find too is social interaction. I'm kind of introverted, but if you're an extrovert and you like that social interaction, and you don't want to be a stay-at-home parent, or if you love that social interaction that you get from a job, you definitely are going to struggle being a full-time reseller. And there could be a good reason for you as a full-time reseller to go back into the market, to go back into the workforce, so that you can actually have that interaction with other adults, other people your age. I'm lucky enough to work with my best friend, my wife, so there you go. And again, we're going to talk about less responsibility. You definitely, running an online business, you know, you have to wear multiple hats. You've got to be the boss, you've got to be the packer, you got to be the shipper, you got to be the accountant. Somebody's got a bunch of bass outside. But if you are a person who actually works in a online space, and you are, you know, you're okay doing all of those jobs, that's fine. But most likely when you work for yourself, you have to do all of those things. But when you work for someone else, it's really easy to throw your hands up and go, well, that's not my job description, that's someone else's job. So there's a lot less responsibility. And you know, I hope that you would be willing to help your work buddies out. But when we do work for ourselves, we have to wear those hats. But when we work for other people, it is pretty easy to say, well, that's not my job. And the job security, you know, I guess as long as you're a good reseller, you're going to be able to do the job, you're going to be able to have the job security. But like in this business, being a reseller, your job is only secure as you're able to find stuff. And to be honest with you, eBay does hold a lot over your head. There are some people that get kicked off eBay, but typically you've got to do something pretty egregious for that to happen. But the main job security is just being able to continue to find stuff, to be able to sell stuff, to be able to make that money. But when you work for someone else, you just show up, you clock in, you do your job, and you go home. And if you do that, you're pretty much going to be secure in your job. And another thing to think about, and a good reason to go back into the workforce, is there really isn't much career progression here. You're only going to be able to go as far as you can find stuff to sell. I mean, you're already the CEO, you're already at the top of your game, I guess, for your small business. The only thing that you could do would be to grow that business into something larger. But if you are looking for a 401k, or if you're looking for all the benefits that come with having a job, vacation and stuff like that, I would definitely say that reselling might not be a good career choice for you. And you might want to think about going back into the workforce if you're struggling. And I hope that these 9 things really give you a insight as to the things that I constantly think about whenever I'm like, maybe I should go get a job. But ultimately it always comes back to, I am a person who unfortunately has a low skill set. I don't know how to work with my hands. I'm fairly intelligent, but I have ADHD. So it typically comes off kind of, you know, I come off a little bit different. As you've seen in the video, I'm a little bit scatterbrained. But so I've really struggled working for other people. So for me, this is the best I'm going to do in this life, is to be able to work for myself and to be free. But I'm not the one really making a bunch of videos complaining about how hard it is and stuff like that. And sometimes I think that people should just go get a job. If it's that hard for you, help the rest of us out. You know, maybe you should go into the workforce. You can always be a reseller part-time, and it'll help build up your portfolios. You can use that money as investment, and there's all kinds of stuff you can do. Sometimes being a part-time reseller is good. And I've yammered on enough. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you do, be sure to go down and like and give it a thumbs up. You guys have a good day, and God bless.